Hey there, it's Jenny Hobbs, Fit Mom MD, and as you can see, I'm dressed and packed with my food and ready to go in for my night shift tonight. But before I do that, I just wanted to really quickly run through for you how I structure my meals when I'm on night shift. This is something that people are always curious about, I think both for their own purposes, if they tend to work nights or crazy schedules or swing shifts or whatever. And I think also people are just always curious how it works when you're a doctor who works nights. So I thought you guys might find this interesting. It's actually not that complicated, but for some reason it can be a little confusing. So I actually have a little notebook I use to organize it, and I will go through that with you guys real quick right now. So stick with me. But before I go into that, I did want to say a huge thank you to you for being here. We found out this week that we have passed 100 subscribers, which was a goal that I had set a while back. And it means the world to me that you have decided to show up here, to listen to what I have to say, to implement in your life, to share with others. I do not take your time and attention for granted by any means. And I know that you have there's lots of noise out there in the world and lots of people you can listen to. And so the fact that you've chosen to follow along with me here means so, so much. So thank you for that. Please continue to subscribe if you haven't already, turn on notifications, and of course, share with other people. That's one of the big reasons I moved a lot of my content out of places like Facebook and Instagram over to YouTube, because I want it to be easily accessible to so many more people and for you to easily be able to share it or find it later if you can't remember something. And so in order for me to continue doing that, the best way is for you to keep sharing it with other people and also giving me feedback, letting me know what do you like, what's helpful, what works, what doesn't, what other questions I can answer. I'm, making out my plan for content for 2020 right now. So now is a great time to let me know what kind of content you enjoy. You can always reach me, Jenny at fitmommd.com. It's JENNY at fitmommd.com, or you can leave a comment below. I always check those. Or you can obviously reach me through social media as well. So thanks again. Okay, so the first and biggest thing, of course, with any meal planning and any, meal timing is to have a plan. You got to know what you're going to eat. And it should be something healthy. It doesn't have to be one of my meal plans, although of course I think mine are great and that's what I do in my health coaching groups. But you do need to have some kind of plan of what types of food you're going to eat when that are on your healthy meal plan. And knowing when you're going to eat is also important. So how many times a day do you eat on your meal plan? Do you eat breakfast, lunch, dinner? Do you have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack? Do you have 5 meals a day? Do you eat 1 meal a day because you do intermittent fasting? Whatever the case may be, but sort that out for yourself first, okay? That's the number one thing. Have your plan in place. But assuming that you have a plan in place and you're just trying to figure out how to take it from days over to nights, right? This is what I'm going to explain to you now. So what I do, like this week, I'm on the Ultimate Reset plant-based cleanse. And like many of my meal plans, it involves a breakfast, a lunch, a dinner, and an optional snack. That's how most of mine are. They aren't all as regimented as this particular cleanse, but typically that's the idea. And there's a certain type of food that you eat for each type of meal to give you the right balance of nutrients. So what I do before I go into a stretch of nights is I write down, let's say I'm doing 3 nights. I write down the 3 nights, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I write down what I'm going to eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, optional snack for each of those days. Okay. And then on the first day when I'm going on to nights, I tend to eat a full 2 days of food in about 18 hours, more or less. So I'll show you how that works. So I eat breakfast whenever I start my day of eating. Often on my day before I start my work stretches, I try to eat breakfast later, like noon or even later. But if you have to be up early with your kids and you're getting hungry at like 9 a.m. or 10 a.m., that's okay. So you eat breakfast, then I eat some lunch, like again, a later lunch typically for me. Sometimes I even skip this lunch meal if I've eaten breakfast so late and I don't need to, and I'll save that meal for later. But assuming that you're up like 9 a.m., fine, eat this around a regular lunchtime. Then you're going to have your third meal, your dinner. You're going to eat that at 5 p.m. with your family. That's really important to me. So I always have that meal at dinner time. That's one of the benefits of being on nights, in my opinion, is I can always have dinner with my family. And then you're going to go into work. And so for me, I actually don't start work until 9 p.m. So I kind of just don't eat again until I'm at work. If you start work earlier, you may want to adjust this. So then I get to work and then I will eat sometime during the night shift. I'm going to eat my optional snack if I'm hungry, my breakfast that's actually supposed to be scheduled on the following day, and my lunch that's supposed to be scheduled for the following day. Okay, so I might eat those 3 meals at 9 p.m., 1 a.m., and then 3 a.m. So I've eaten basically all of Monday's food and most of Tuesday's food by the time I hit 3 a.m. on my night shift. And then I really try to stop eating after 3 or 4 a.m. completely on my night shifts, because I find that my digestion at that 4 a.m. time is not good. Stuff doesn't sit well, and I think that's just a nice way to finish off the night, to like give your system a little bit of a break. So and I'm not usually that hungry at that time anyway. I do recommend doing that. Then I finish my shift at 7. I go to sleep. I sleep, 7 or 8 hours, wake up in the mid-afternoon, and then I go home, take a shower, maybe do a workout, see my kids. Then I eat the dinner from Tuesday with my family. Okay, meal number 3. Then I go into work the next night and do the same thing. So I eat my optional snack, I'll eat the breakfast from the following day and the lunch from the following day over that night. Then I'll go to sleep through the day, etc. When I get to the last day of my stretch, I do this exact same plan. So let's say that Wednesday was the last day of my stretch of work. I would then be sure that overnight, Wednesday night, I ate Thursday's breakfast and lunch. Go home, have dinner with my family on Thursday as planned. Okay, usually on that day, I'm not that hungry and I'm gonna go to bed after dinner anyway to get back on a day schedule. So then I just finish up my dinner with my family, put my kids to bed. If I'm still really hungry, then I go ahead and finish off this optional snack from Thursday. If I'm not, no problem, skip the optional snack, go to bed, wake up Friday and start with breakfast at a normal time, on Friday. So essentially what you're doing is you're eating a day and a half of food your first day before you finish that first night shift stretch. So you're kind of ahead half a day the whole way through your stretch. And then on the last day of your stretch, you're only that last day, you wake up late because you have to sleep after your shift. You just eat dinner. So you just eat one meal basically that day and then you go to sleep and then you're back on schedule. So it's really simple. You can make that work for as many shifts as you're doing. I really try to maintain that time from like 3 a.m. until, 4 or 5 p.m. the following day where I just don't eat anything. I think it's nice because it maintains that, 12 plus hours of time without any food in my system. It works better for my digestion. So I hope that helps you guys. Let me know if you have questions about that. This is seriously one of the most common questions. I'm tempted to make a little graphic of it just to give out to people because honestly, it sounds simple, but when you're doing it, you might get confused when you're on nights like, what did I eat? So that's part of why I write it down, because then I can literally check off the meals. And by the end of my stretch, I can make sure I've actually eaten the right number of meals and haven't gone too crazy. So anyway, it's really, really helpful if you do this. It's helpful to take this big bag of healthy food with you so that you're not tempted by the vending machines or the nurse's potlucks or whatever is available in the hospital at night, which is usually not that healthy. And also usually, you have a lot of cravings at night. And so that really keeps doing the system keeps those at bay and keeps you full. The other just quick tips that I use for nights, and I'll share some links to some of my other night shift nutrition videos too, but I always take my pre-workout, which is kind of like a cold caffeinated drink. It's all natural, it's plant-based, it's great. I take that and I sip that through the night with water and ice, and it's very cold and refreshing and kind of keeps me it keeps me awake better than a warm caffeinated drink does. And it helps me if I do get hungry to have that. And then I also have some healthy, when I'm not on this cleanse, I have some healthy snack bars that are, again, all natural without any extras in there, lots of protein in them. So I might have one of those in there as part of one of those optional snacks if I do get hungry. But I find if I bring all this with me, I am set to go. So let me know if that makes sense. I'm going to share this around with some people who've asked me this question. So I'd love your feedback below. And once again, I so appreciate you being here. If you do like these videos, subscribe, give me feedback, share with others. Let me know what else I can do to make your life better. And with that, I better get off to work. Have a great week.